Good morning. Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. I was waving at the
mail lady.
The mail lady. M-A-I-L lady. And I was going to offer some McDonald's breakfast. They have when Jeffrey was with me this morning, I had to give Jeffrey a ride to work, and so we went in, and their kids toys thing is the latest Thor movie. Thor Love and Thunder, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
And apparently, from what I can tell from the previews and everything, apparently Natalie Portman, who was Thor's love interest in the first couple of movies, his girlfriend or whatever in the first couple of Thor movies, will now be the new Thor.
Oh.
And take over for the male Thor.
Okay.
So we will have a female Thor. And I don't know if this is true or not. You know that Chris Hemsworth probably works out, probably looks like that.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
From articles and everything I've read, yeah, he gets into this and,
right.
bulks up and works out.
Right.
And you have to maintain that, because if you don't, you lose it real quick.
Goes away. Now, Natalie Portman, you wonder, did she really bulk up like that? Or is that not chemically enhanced, but CGI? Are those CGI muscles?
I don't know that I would like to look like that all the time. I wouldn't have a problem with the legs and, back and, muscles on my arms, but not that big.
That's right.
Then it's another one of those, I could go work out. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be coming out pretty soon. And so the kids' meal deal, or the toy thing with the McDonald's is is a game. It's a video game. And so when you get your Happy Meal, you place your toy on your device to play. So if you have a phone or an iPad, there's a toy that comes in the Happy Meal, and you place that toy on the iPad. And so there's a picture of
Think of the technology that went into that little toy.
That's right.
I mean, that's amazing.
So Jeffrey, I don't know if you want to put that picture up on the screen that we took this morning, but it looks like the toy that you get is the Natalie Portman Lady Thor.
A little caricature.
Yeah, and so you set that on your iPad.
Okay.
They were being very politically correct. They say place this on your device. But everybody knows 90% of all tablets that are out there are iPads.
Yeah.
But maybe you can put it on your phone, but you play it on your device, and then you can play games or interact with the with the toy. So,
wow.
So
that. When you stop and think of that, I realize there's people that are raised that, and they don't, have been raised with all this stuff, and they're not impressed one way or the other, as long as the silly thing works.
That's right.
But the technology that went into that, think how many years or whatever, that's really impressive.
It is.
If you really think about it.
Well, last week we did the, Clyde Lewis came out to Roswell for the UFO Festival, and he did his show from the UFO Museum on Thursday and Friday night. And when he came out 6 years ago, they shipped out a box that we hooked up to the internet and hooked the microphones to, and that box was what communicated back to the flagship station. And those boxes, you can still buy them today. They're $3,000-$4,000. And so you got to have one on one end, and you got to have one on the other end. And so that's why we've kind of, and you can take the picture down now, Jeffrey. So we've kind of hesitated investing in that, because that's a lot of money for us.
Sure.
It's not a lot of money.
If you're not going to use it all the time.
But so now he's with a different station. They don't have, they're a little more advanced than us, but they don't have quite the resources that the other group that he had. So we don't have one of those boxes we can send to you. So how are we going to get the show on the air? This iPad ran the software that my mixer connected to the iPad, and then it connected to the radio station in Portland. And this iPad right here is what we use to do get the audio back for the national broadcast. And of course, it sounded like you were sitting right there in the studio.
Well, yeah, sure.
Doing the show. And so, yeah, the technology has really changed. So I may just have to buy a Happy Meal.
Just to play.
Just to get the toy and play with the toy and see.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
See what that's like. So.
Yes. Get all the caricatures.
Is there an age restriction on buying a Happy Meal?
No.
Can an adult buy a Happy Meal?
Sure. I've done it lots of times when I'm driving and I don't want a whole lot to eat, but I need something because I'm going to starve any moment and I want to chew the steering wheel. Yeah. A small hamburger or cheeseburger or whatever, and a small fries. Okay. That's all I need anyhow is small. I don't need extra large, And it's perfect. Okay. Perfect.
So there's
they don't know if you're buying it for you or the kid or your grandkid or the guy in the back seat that's hiding, that's 5 years old.
Or the dog.
That too. Yes.
Oh, good. We'll have to check that out. The dumpsters, the roll-offs, the traveling dumpsters, have they moved?
They are at the Bulldog Bowl parking lot.
Okay.
And they are on the south end. They were supposed to be on the north, but there's trucks and construction stuff going on parked over there. So there's 2 of them sitting at the south end. You cannot miss those big green things.
Okay.
Please be considerate. When you put stuff in it, try to get it as far back as possible. Don't leave it smacking the front door because they don't have access to good grief, a backhoe right now to be able to shove it all back in there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
And if there was one nearby, yes, but under normal circumstances. And they also need to get the door shut.
That's true.
That can be a hazard if you're trying to move that sucker.
Yeah.
Because it's all going to fall out.
Yeah.
So, try to get it as far back as possible. And then the next person obviously follows suit and so on and so on. And, there's just a little etiquette that needs to happen.
Well, it would be nice.
Well, you would think.
Yeah.
Yes. And they have been well used. So...
Wow.
I don't have a weight yet, of course, but...
Are they having to empty them every day?
Well, there for a while they were. Mm-hmm. I don't know about if they have since they've been moved or, how they did over at 26th and Main, if they were every day. But I know when they were over at 10th and Missouri, they were pretty much getting dumped every day.
Wow. A lot of trash.
And you would think that you could see a difference as you're driving around town. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some areas and some alleys and in backyards, people, they're fire hazards. You all really need to do something. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people have in their backyards that they could slowly filter to the dumpster in the alley, 3 or 4 pieces at a time. But that doesn't mean you need to pile it 3 or 4 feet above your dumpster.
That's right.
When it's full, you should still be able to close that lid. And don't say, well, I don't have a lid on mine. Yeah, we know there's some that don't. But, you know good and well what I'm talking about.
We saw this the other day. Somebody had gotten a big box of something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And 1/3 of the big box was sticking out the dumpster. And we weren't in a position at that moment in time to offload that into the back of the truck because I would have.
Right, sure.
If I had the time to do that, we would have done that. I mean, I have gloves in the truck, and we have the truck.
And I have trained you well.
You have, and we have hauled off some mattresses and some stuff like that we found in the alleys that have been in the way, and we just at that moment in time we didn't have the opportunity to do that. But I don't know what gets into brains that think, well, if it sticks out the lid, they'll still be able to pick it up.
Yeah.
And they can't always do that.
No,
because
what goes up falls off all over the alley and makes a big giant mess.
Yeah.
Do you want to get out there and clean that up? Apparently not, because we've seen some disastrous messes.
Sure.
And I've even stopped and told the kids, pull that out of there.
Yeah.
Throw it in the back of the truck because this is a no-no.
So you can take it to the roll-offs. The dumpsters would be a place to take it. But if you're going to put something in the dumpster, it's got to go.
And if it's cardboard, flatten the boxes.
That's right.
Sonic people, flatten those boxes. You'd be surprised how many more you could get in there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
McAllister's, flatten your boxes. All you have to do is pop the tape, and it'll collapse. And then it's flat, and you can just slide it in there and...
You would get more stuff. Tree branches are the same way. If it's sticking out the dumpster,
Yes.
Chop it up a little more.
Yeah.
And that way, because you want to get the lid to close. If you can get it in and the lid can close, then that's the goal. That's what you're trying to do.
And plus, you're making the rest of your neighbors happy too, because you don't want to aggravate everybody by all that crap that you put in there. You know, I've had some huge branches before, and by the time my little old limb loppers and I are done, there's a nice little bitty pile in the bottom of the dumpster.
Yeah, but just a little extra time. And if it's too big to fit and you can't get the lid to close, then throw it in the back of the pickup. And right now, during the summer, you have this golden opportunity to go by the Bulldog Bowl parking lot south side and toss it into one of the roll-offs. Or...
What day did they move? You've got the list, and I can't remember.
That's okay. There's at the Bulldog Bowl through the 17th.
Thank you.
And then on the 18th, they'll be at 10th and Memorial Drive through the end of the month. So they're there through next weekend.
Yes.
They'll be at the Bulldog Bowl parking lot on the south side.
So you really don't have an excuse.
Right.
I mean, we can't make this any easier for y'all.
That's right. That's what we're trying to do.
Seriously. These have been sitting around now for 5 weeks, give or take.
Give or take, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm glad people are using them, but throw stuff in the back. Don't pile it in the front. Don't go shopping in there and leave everything all over the place. No household hazardous waste. So don't throw any paint cans that have liquid paint in them, or any unused
you don't want
sprays or chemicals or stuff like that.
All that stuff in there. There are places out at the transfer station for those items, and it's right in the front.
I don't think you have to go through.
No, you don't. You could just kind of pull over to the left, and
that's where the oil dump is, and that's where the paint shed is.
And if you have paint that you want to get rid of, and you don't want to take it all the way out there, paint a hunk of cardboard, and then when it's dry, you can throw it all away.
Yeah.
And that paint can too. Do not ask me the logic. I don't know that logic, but that's the rules, and that's the way it is. Or a piece of carpet or whatever that's laying around. You can slap all that paint on it, let it dry, then throw the cardboard and/or carpet away, and your empty paint can.
Then you can.
No big deal.
And no tires. Don't throw any tires in.
No.
There. So
preferably not.
Those would go out to the transfer station.
And you can. I think it's 4 a day you can take out there. So.
Okay, 4 a day. And the tires you just want to get rid of, because if we do get any rain,
mosquito
water sits
havens,
in them, and then they become breeding grounds for mosquitoes. So we don't need any of that. That's
and it only takes a drop of rain. So if you've got flower pots sitting around outside that are empty, that might not be that are holding water, because even I've got some of those that I noticed the other day. There was a couple, and I thought, oh my gosh, got to dump this. There was some leaves in it or something that was preventing water from draining, and and there's a mosquito in my house. And can I find that little darling? No. I can hear him, and every once in a while I see a flyby, and I think, I'm going to get it. He's going to sting.
He's crazy. Now, the Eddy County Fair's coming up in a couple of weeks. Is Artesia Clean and Beautiful doing anything with the fair?
No, we don't have anything to do with that.
Okay. So I won't ask you any more about that.
No.
Hopefully they got their barrels back, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Because in the past, you guys would paint barrels and stuff like that.
Yes, we have done that.
But not doing that this year.
Apparently, if they like them, they're taking them.
Oh, my gosh.
They must like the colors.
Yeah.
So, if you see any magenta and turquoise barrels around town...
Get them back to the fairgrounds.
Yeah, they kind of belong out there. They're not personal gifts to people, because those are our colors. So it's pretty identifiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get them out there. So... Once the traveling dumpsters are done, do you have any cleanups coming up, cleanup weekends or months that are coming up?
Not until Toss No Moss, which starts 1st of August to the end of October.
Okay.
So any time in that time frame, of course, we would greatly appreciate, your groups, your employees, businesses challenge each other, whatever. Go out and do a cleanup. There's no shortage, believe it or not, of trash or litter or whatever. And it would be nice to have a nice, clean community.
Yeah.
I had a kid doing community service, and, well, let's just say, at some point he did a pretty good job. But once you get to the end of your route or your path or the bar ditch or whatever, it's back at the other end because people are so rude they continue to throw stuff out. So it would have to be a constant thing of people out there.
Yeah.
Now, BLM is going to have a National Public Lands Day in September.
Now, this is, so we're not confusing anybody.
Bureau of Land
Management, so.
Yes, yes.
That BLM.
That BLM, yes. They ought to sue the other one for infringement on their initials, you know?
I would, but, you know.
Yeah, well, yes, we won't get into that. Anyhow, and that will be kind of a challenge between Artesia and Carlsbad, north or south, whatever you want to go.
Okay.
And get cleanups going. Churches against, challenge another church, or groups get together, or businesses or oil companies challenge other oil companies or whatever. We're still working on details, and they're doing a lot of, especially trying to clean up illegal dump sites.
Yeah.
If you go out North Car Ranch Road, it's appalling. There's old cars out there that are just used for target practice. The amount of shotgun shells on the ground is unreal.
Wow.
There's old appliances that people take out there and just shoot up.
Well, Linda, I'm shocked. You know why?
Why?
The county passed an ordinance.
Whoopie-doo. You got to enforce it.
The county passed an ordinance, an illegal dumping ordinance.
Yeah. And
how can there still be illegal dumping? Don't people know there's an ordinance against it?
Let me tell you something.
I'm being a little...
Yeah, you are. Yeah. I do a litter index for Keep America Beautiful, which I've had the kids help out in the last couple of years because it's very difficult for me to drive and look for all of these certain things.
A litter index?
Yes, which they're going around, and I drive pretty much from Ritchie to Hermosa and 1st to 26th. Sections of town, rating the litter that you see.
Is this in the front of houses and in the alleys? I mean,
pretty much the street sides.
The streets, okay.
Illegal signs, which could be stickers that are placed on stop signs or utility boxes or whatever.
Right.
There's a lot of what is considered illegal signage, so it doesn't have to be a billboard or a big sign thing. That, graffiti, outside storage, which does not mean the cute little shed in your backyard. That means all the crap you've got piled in the middle of your backyard or up against your carport or whatever. And abandoned vehicles.
Okay.
So last year we had over 400 and some that we could see. And those were not what I was driving down the alley where you can see over the fence or in the backyard or whatever. An abandoned vehicle, I don't care if it's in your front door. You should be able to go out and put a key in it, start it, pull it forward, and back it up. If you cannot do that, it's considered abandoned.
Okay.
I don't care if it's in your carport. There's an ordinance against that. So if there's an ordinance, either have an ordinance and enforce it, or don't.
Right.
Because it's pointless to have it. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out which is an abandoned vehicle. It's sad that... So
you're doing your index now.
Well, I haven't started yet, but I've got to have it done before the 1st of August.
Well, I'd be curious to see what your index this year compared to last year. So last year you said there were like 400.
It was like 425. The year before that there was 300 and some that we saw.
So there were more abandoned vehicles in last year's report than the previous year. Okay.
There's one that sits around the corner on Dallas, 3rd and Dallas. If you turn right going to towards 1st, that car is set there up against the curb for 2 or 3 years. The same little sports ball is still under the front of it. It hasn't moved.
It's in the street?
That's considered an abandoned vehicle.
I'm surprised it's still in the street because I thought they were pretty good about it.
Oh, no. There's one over by my daughter's on 10th, Texas, in the 900 block. That old junker pickup's been sitting in front of that house for years.
In the street?
In the street.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. It has not moved, and I'm sure it will not move. That's considered an abandoned vehicle.
Yeah.
So, like I said, either there's an ordinance that you're going to enforce or there isn't. And apparently, they don't enforce it.
Yeah. for whatever reason. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that the number of apparent abandoned vehicles,
yes.
increased. So I'll be curious to see what your... So are there other things on the trash index that get counted other than the vehicles?
Well, like I said, the litter, the graffiti, the illegal signs, the outside storage, and the abandoned vehicles.
Okay.
5 things.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, we'll have to look at the index numbers this year compared to last year to see if there's been any improvement.
I know there's a lot more graffiti this year because I see it driving around.
I have seen a little more graffiti than in the past.
Yeah, and there's an idiot that has just graffitied the heck out of the roll-offs.
Again?
Well, they haven't cleaned it off.
Oh, okay. I know they did it at Missouri location, but I didn't know if they were doing
same idiot, same tag, and which is only glorifying his tags by leaving it on there.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
I have seen a little.
I thought about taking grease lightning and the kids and I go scrubbing it off, but grease lightning will take the paint. I thought, oh yeah, I can just see us scrubbing all the green paint off of the roll-off. Yeah, that might not be a good idea.
Good idea. Well, as always, if people have any questions, they want to check in on their listing on your pickup days that are coming up. If they want to check on any of that information, give you
Don't ask me what time they're going to be there because we have no clue.
Right.
It depends on what order they go in, how long it's at each house or pickup.
We hope to get to you on this day.
We would love to.
Pretend we're the cable company. We'll be there sometime between...
Oh, don't you hate that?
9 and 5.
5. Yeah. Sure. A suggestion. We've been, of course, out of the transfer station umpteen times this week into the metal pile, and I have seen lots of walkers, potty chairs, shower chairs, that are in perfect shape. Some of them look like brand new.
Okay.
If you have these sorts of things, don't throw them away. There's many churches that have, I'll say a medical supply closet, that they will take these and then lend them out to people, not just their parishioners, but anybody that needs an appliance and maybe can't afford it.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good idea.
There was a brand new shower chair in the back of a roll-off the other day, and I should have pulled it out.
Yeah.
But
be helpful with that.
Yeah.
So what's the best way to get a hold of you? Do you want to call the office or?
Oh, just call my cell. It's attached to my body. There's a story about having this phone attached to your body and having COVID, and we won't go into that because yes, I was insane to do this, but it was easier than calling people back or trying to remember, But yeah, it was.
So it
was pretty bad.
So it's
575-513-0143.
Okay.
You can also call the office, but I'm out and about with the kids.
Yep.
So you're going to have to leave a message unless I just happen to be in there when it rings. So that, of course, is 575-748-3192. And I honestly do check messages. It just may not be for a little while because, like I said, I'm out and about with the kids.
And one last thing, you're going to send me the pictures. The picture, you just have the one picture?
Yes.
Okay. Our yard of the week this week?
Yes.
Is?
Mike and Kathy Phipps.
1406 Walnut.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Oh, my God, that porch is to die for. If you ever wanted to sit out on a porch and drink sweet tea and watch the world go by, that would be the perfect one.
Well, I have the picture, so we're going to get that posted a little bit later this morning, and you can. That's one of our most popular posts that we share every week is the yard of the week.
People are so we picked up some stuff from a house the other day, and right this very second, I can't even tell you the address. Gorgeous yard. So while I had these people captured, I said, we do yard of the week too. Would you mind? Because this is beautiful. I mean, they had daylilies that were blooming. There was red yucca that was blooming. There was bird of paradise that was blooming. It was gorgeous, perfectly manicured, rock stream kind of, flowing through it with all these natural bushes. Xeriscape, you might say, type bushes going through it.
Right.
And they were like, oh my gosh, are you kidding? Really? I said, yeah, and if you don't mind, could I take your picture now, and then when I bring the sign later, we'll snap another one or something? Oh, people are so honored that somebody recognizes their yard, so it's a great thing.
All right, we got to go. Aaron's probably getting ready to yell at me.
Okay.
So, Linda, thanks. Good to see you out amongst the living.
Oh, let me tell you, I'm so glad to be out.
All right, we'll see you next week.